All right, guys, we're back, and we have with us Lee Aldridge from Soul Story Creative. We are talking about building your brand, and I'm really excited on this video because we want to dive in and kind of differentiate just a little bit between the different types of categories that you might be doing branding for. You know, we usually think about branding for our website or for maybe a product, but then we also have the option to be branding yourself. There are some people that it makes more sense instead of branding a company, they might want to brand themselves. You can even think of people out there that have just branded their own name. So Lee, can you kind of touch on that just a little bit, because that we do have options for branding, and I've even done this myself where I have my overall brand, but then I've broken that off into a specific product brand, for example,
Mhm.
or a specific category of what we're working on. So could you expand on that just a little bit on some things that you think that they should know when we're breaking that down from just the overall brand?
Yeah, yeah. No, great questions because we have branding ourselves and a personal brand. What is personal branding? And then there's the branding for your company and then the branding for your products, right? And so it can get very confusing very fast. And luckily, this is where that fun stuff around Captivate, your colors, your fonts, your design elements can really make a huge impact and make all the difference when it's done right, when it's um, professional, quite frankly. There's a lot of fabulous graphics designers out there that can help you um, by just investing a very little bit to make your all of your collateral meaning your website, your emails, your flyers, your cards, your takeaway cards, all of that collateral, your papers that you write, consistently presented. Okay, there's going to be constant elements, but back to actually um, branding yourself. Where does a personal brand come in to a company brand? I feel like in the last 10 years, we have really moved into story, story branding. In fact, Donald Miller, my mentor of Story Brand, um, is someone that really has brought it home to me on how important storytelling is in a digital world. We've got to create connection. We've got to create a relationship with
Right.
people that we don't even know they're looking at our stuff. We don't even know that they've actually walked in our door, our website. And how do we do that? That is the big conundrum. And that is what you and me are committed to breaking this down for you guys and simplifying it. It doesn't have to be rocket science, it really doesn't. But done in the right way, you're going to excel and you're going to be successful. So think about think about the Dove commercials 5 or so years ago. Think about the Ford commercials. Think about those Bose commercials with the athletes, the professional athletes that have the headphones on and they're arriving at their big tournament game, and you get to see the whole story of the crowds clamoring at that bus. And he's just chilled. He's chilled out with the Bose. The Dove commercials, it's about relationship, and they really went on the beauty campaign of our relationship and how we see ourselves. There's a beautiful video of that Dove campaign that I often use in many of my talks because we can never see ourselves as others see
I
us.
think I remember that one. It was really good. I'll see if I can find the link and I'll put it in the description with this so that people
I'll
can
get
look
the
at that.
link for
It's
you.
powerful. It really is. It kind of I remember the first time I saw it, it kind of brought a tear to my eye. And you really do
Yeah.
identify. And I think that's the whole idea on story branding is that stories are what allows us to identify
Hmm.
with that person on a
Hmm.
deeper connective level, that engagement, that connectivity that we're really, especially nowadays, really trying to do. And the great thing about story branding is that it also builds your expert status. It gives you that ability to show that you know what you're talking about.
It does. And without feeling sleazy, like I have this many letters behind my name. You are so
Right.
blessed. Let me grace you with that doesn't feel good to
That
any
doesn't
of
it
us.
doesn't work. And
Not
neither does
not
the sleazy
uh-uh.
sales technique of
No, of like, oh, if you don't hire me, you are gonna be so sorry. Because that
right.
fear you got now is just gonna get worse.
Yeah,
It
that
doesn't work
never it
anymore.
doesn't work anymore.
Seth Godin is our hero, right? Seth Godin brought out permission marketing, not push marketing anymore.
Mhm.
So the thing about story is we're hardwired for it. It's the oldest language in the world. It's over 10,000 years old. Plato used it. It worked for that dude, you know? And the thing
Religious
about
leaders, I mean, think every religious ceremony or sermon that you listen to, it's all about the stories and the parables.
yes,
And
the
I mean,
parables.
that's all of that. It comes right back to stories because that's how people connect. It's how people remember,
It's
and
how they
that's
remember.
yes.
It's how
And
they remember and they can repeat. If you can get somebody who lands on your website to go over there tomorrow afternoon and tell their friend what they saw in 5 seconds, man, you've done it, hadn't you?
absolutely, yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
success. So story has a melody. Here's how it goes. Everybody knows about the hero's journey, right? Joseph Campbell's was very elaborate and beautiful, right? I love it. But here's how it goes. Super simple. Soul Story brand style. La da 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 da, walking along, life is great. Oh, got a problem. Can't solve it. Oh, she can. Oh, she says she can solve my problem. Why? Oh, you've had experience. Okay. I'll do the plan. Okay, great. Yay! And I fly off into the sunset, spreading rose petals behind me. That's a story. That's a story.
Yeah.
So this is important, folks. Do never, ever become the hero of your own story.
Oh yeah,
Your
absolutely.
client, your customer is always the hero. You are a guide. You're an expert guide who is empathetic to their problem. Remember, it's not the logo that makes that connection, it's the person's ability to understand that you really get them. And they know it through the words you put on your website, through the images you put on your website, through the colors you choose, and through the fonts and design, all of it, and through the way you package it. Okay, that is the deal. So, story allows us to deliver our brilliance, claim it, deliver our brilliance in a way that is engaging. Everything works pretty good now, you know? I mean, I hadn't gone to the grocery store in months. That's a scary thought. I haven't been out of the house. You know, everything's working pretty good. We want a pleasant, engaging experience. That's the other thing that's on us, you guys, is we got to create, and that's the captivate. That's why I named it captivate. We got to captivate them, but it still comes last.
Right. Yeah.
So, is that the question we were answering? I don't even know.
Yes, because we were
Here,
talking about self branding, company branding, product branding, and website branding. And that touches on it because self branding is all about your story and how you overcame your challenges and become now the guide to help others get across that chasm that you have managed to get across. Company
uh-huh.
branding is similar in that how is it that your company can make a difference for them to solve their problem, because again, it's not about them, you being the hero or your company being the hero, it's about them
Think
and your
think about the brand promise. Every company must have a brand promise.
Mhm.
Get the marketing results you expect. Get better quicker. Unbridled way forward. Um, your brand promise is the one thing that permeates your entire business. It's the one thing that you can promise you're going to deliver with every single person that walks through that door. That's your
Right.
brand promise,
And you
right?
can have
And
an
it's
overall brand promise and then have sub promises on your product promises below
that's
that. So it's
right.
almost like you're,
Every product,
yeah.
that's what we do. Every product has a brand promise. Every campaign has a brand promise. And, it just really, when you land on that, then it anchors you into your strategy again.
Mhm.
This isn't rocket science, what Rebecca and I are talking about. This is just the way you do it. It's the science of branding, combining it with the creative art and the right brain of it, the story, right? And the compelling emotive messaging, it's just like, um, just think of one that's funny, like, it's so generic. What would it be? It's like, uh, transform your life.
Lose weight in 50 days.
Well, it better have a good tagline, is all I've got to say.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like transform your life is good, but I mean, I could pull up tons of examples and go through that. But the your brand promise, here's the question to ask. We'll give you a hint. One of my proprietary questions. And in my questionnaire, I ask it twice, and it's in different places.
Oh,
Same
awesome.
question. It's the same question. It's so funny how we answer it different. Because what it is it's the brand promise question. You can have more than one brand promise, but you want to land on something and test it out and see if, it works for everything. So here's a question. What is the one core desire that all of your customers or clients have? It's like, what is the one thing that every one of your clients appreciates? Because each client's going to have a variation of what they found value in, but there should be one common thread, or two or three, that you can land on. Because here is what the most important fact is. Get your pen and paper ready. Businesses who are consistent in their message across all platforms can expect up to a 23% increase in revenue annually. Not 2%,
23%, that's
23.
significant. That's huge
If you
growth, and that
made
compounds.
if you made 20,000, that's 5,000 extra dollars. If you grossed 100, that's 25,000 extra dollar, 23,000 extra dollars. So, my point is this. The biggest room is the room for improvement. And we can
Good
take
point.
we can take our brand story back into the dark room and burn and dodge a little bit more. Leave it in the stop bath a little bit less and improve it. Improve it. Ansel Adams was brilliant at this. That's why he was such a master at black and white printing. That's not what we're doing here. That is not what we're doing.
Right.
We want to land, we want to get clear on who we are, what we stand for, and why they should care, package it into messaging and offers, and not change it. because I got to hear you say the same thing over and over and over and over again before I'm going to like you, and definitely before I'm going to trust you,
True.
especially online.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Definitely. Consistent.
consistency is the key. Don't change it. Just go out there and start making money. Quit reinventing the wheel and seeing that Jennifer's doing Facebook Live now. It's working really good for her. And you've already got a lead generation strategy already done that Rebecca told you to do. But now you're going to go off and buy this other program for $500 to do Facebook Live. And all they're going to do is a 10-day challenge and make you go into the Facebook group and do it. Well, you can make yourself do that. You don't need somebody telling you. You make
Yeah,
up your
so many
mind.
gold nuggets, Lee. That's fantastic. So we definitely want to be looking at building our story so that we can connect and captivate. We want to have consistency in our message, know what our brand promise is,
Hmm.
and then just stick with it. This is wonderful, Lee.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yep.
much. Our next video, we are going to jump into creating your brand guide, which we're going to go back to those original questions that we talked about earlier. So now it's time to pull out pen and paper. So let's jump on into the next section.